So everybody talks about goal setting and all the different cute acronyms that you're going to need to be able to set your goals. But there's so much that has to be done before the goal is even set that I want to speak to you how to properly prepare it yourself. Because how many times did you set a goal and all that happened is that you ended up messing up a day, a week, or 2 weeks afterwards? So let's get ourselves set up properly, build the foundations in order to be able to hit any goal that we set for ourselves. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I recently had a big goal, a big change in my own schedule to be able to do certain things in my day and really be able to focus. So I'm going to share with you a bunch of different things that happened. And the first thing I want to talk about is really planning your goal. You see, when it comes to setting your goal, you have to be in the right mental and physical state to be able to accomplish that goal. And with my goal recently that I knew I had a holiday coming up. And if I would have started right then, I would have lost a lot of steam going through the holiday and I wouldn't have been able to pick myself up back afterwards. And I realized, you know what? What I need to do is I need to prepare myself mentally to get started on that specific day. But understanding how important my mindset was and my mentality in terms of my focus was something that was able to get me excited for it. You see, I was pumping myself up. It was like the date was scheduled for the match and all I was doing is getting myself ready to be able to play the game. And other times there were things that I was excited to do, but I wasn't really so mentally prepared. So when I did have some adversity, it was really difficult for me to bounce back as quick. But now preparing myself, recognizing that I'm going to get myself in the proper state, that's something that is so powerful that even when I get hit, the momentum is going to help me be able to move forward. So recognizing that mentally it's better for you to be able to just get yourself focused to be able to make that decision on a certain date that you're going to do something. And practically you want to just be able to set yourself up. Meaning if you want to be working out every single day, don't necessarily say you're going to work out at 3 o'clock in the morning if you're not really used to waking up that early. It's just not practical and you're not going to set yourself up for success. And that brings me to my second point, where you need to set proper expectations. So many times, and this is what happened to me so much in my 20s, I set monstrous goals and I was so proud of myself that I was setting such big goals. The only problem is that my expectation was not realistic. I thought they were going to be able to happen a lot quicker. I thought I already had all the skills that I was going to need to be able to do those specific goals, and not realizing that, you know what, I can achieve these, but it's going to probably take a little bit longer than I thought. And because of that, I kept getting failure after failure after failure, and I was building this habit of setting a big goal, trying, stepping into the water with my tippy toes, and then falling and then not getting back into the game. It was something that I wish I would have just slowed down and really just set proper expectations in terms of what is going to be necessary to achieve the goal, but then also what is going to happen when the goal is moving forward, so I can just be prepared for the failures and the feedback that I'm going to need to get. And I think one of the big things is that we have to understand that things are going to be difficult. If we're not able to do it, if everyone's not just able to go do something, it's probably going to be hard to attain. And yes, people might have certain skills and they might have certain past experiences that can help bring them forward for these experiences, but recognizing that it's so important that we need to be able to move forward and to recognize that things are going to probably be more difficult than we think they are. And what's interesting is that we get so excited about these goals and we see all the possibility, and if you're starting a business, how much money you can make and how many people you can help and all the different things you could start to do, but we don't realize that that can happen, but it also comes with other things as well. There are going to be lots of rejections. There's going to be money wasted. But if we can start to recognize, hey, you know what? There are things that I need to be doing, and I allow myself to see that success, and that could be something that could start to change everything. So recognizing that it's going to be hard and also prepare yourself for the things that can go wrong could be something to just set yourself up in the proper way. So when you start your goal, you're going to be able to achieve it. The third tip I want to share with you is really setting boundaries. You see, when it comes to goal setting, people say they're going to do X, Y, and Z. And it's great because you're going to wake up earlier, you're going to do it this time, you're going to be able to achieve X, Y, and Z. But people don't really take things away from themselves. And what I mean by that is set boundaries for yourself. So it's whether it's certain people you want to be hanging out with, whether it's a certain bedtime you want to start to have, or whether it's something like social media that you don't want to be using at certain points of the day. And that was something for me personally. I decided that I'm not going to look at my social media feed after 12 o'clock noon. And I realized that every time I start to look at my social media feed, I just get so less focused and so less driven to be able to take the action that I know I need to be taking. A window of time where I'm not going to be looking at my phone, I'm just going to be focused. It'll be something that can be really crucial in terms of your own success. And this is one of those things you have to be really, really honest with yourself. So many of us want to give into that feeling of being able to do something. You want to eat the food. You want to have that cookie. You want to be able to go to sleep at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But if we could start to put boundaries around ourselves, that is going to be the thing that's going to help protect us. Think of yourself as the asset that you're looking to protect. What guidelines would you give your kids? And try to figure out how you can apply those to yourself in your adult life. Another thing when it comes to setting boundaries is give yourself a specific time, whether it's every day, every week, whatever it might be, to do your specific goal. So one of the goals that I recently set up, I know I'm going to be doing it first thing in the morning, and I'm going to be committing to it long term. So other things that might be happening during that period, I realize are going to be able to get pushed off. But as long as I do the main thing, that is what's going to be able to help me drive forward. Because I know for the next year and a half, it's going to be a specific goal that I'm going to want to achieve. But let me just focus on this specific part to be able to move forward with really achieving and attaining the goal. The fourth thing you need to do is you need to have the support around. So many people don't think about it, but if you think about any successful athlete or business person, they have the people, the resources around them that can help support them. And maybe it's a friend or a family member, or maybe you even hire somebody to be that person for you, but it can be something that could be so crucial in terms of your own success. Having that support is so powerful, and it can really help you just stay accountable. So recognizing you having those people and building that team around you of people that you can go to when things don't go as right, or even celebrate when things are going well, can be so crucial in terms of your own success. You don't have to be going through everything yourself. You can have those people that you can start to share everything with in order to help you move forward. Be aware that those aren't the same people who are sucking the energy out of you and the ones who are actually knocking you off the rail. But having the right people around you could be so beneficial in terms of moving forward in the right direction and getting up quicker when you do fall. And the fifth and final tip is don't wait till it's perfect. It's so obvious that everybody says it, but when it comes down to it, but so many times we don't allow ourselves to take the action because we're waiting for things to be perfect. And that's why when we first started this video, I started to tell you, pick a specific time to start your goal. And it's one of the really cool things that happens when it comes to the goal setting or decision making is that we want to be able to give ourselves a certain time to make the decision by, to start the goal by. And by doing that, regardless of how perfect it is, guess what? You start to move forward. You see, one of the things I do when I help people who want to write their own books is that they get so lost in the editing process. Like there's so much that needs to be editing and there's so much that they can't be editing. But recognizing that at the end of the day, there's never a full finished product. It can never be perfect. There could always be more editing done to the book. So what we need to start to recognize is, you know what is it we can start to do differently where we can get ourselves in the right position to be able to move forward and really constantly take the action that's necessary. And guess what? There's going to be a lot of imperfection, and that is okay. So stop focusing on waiting for the perfect storm to get moving, but recognize, hey, you know what? I've committed myself to start by this date, and this is what I'm going to be doing now. And once you have that date and once you start, don't forget to get the feedback that you need in terms of how to continuously move forward and tweak it to be able to get going. See, when I started my new goal, an ideal sense, I want to be doing this for the next year and a half. This is going to be my specific thing that I want to be focusing on. But I realized that I don't know really how it's going to go until I'm really into it. So I'm giving myself a 2-week span where I'm not judging myself in terms of my behavior or my actions. I'm just going to see how it's going to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just be curious and get the feedback to see how it's moving. Is it what I expected? Is it something that I can really attain for the next year and a half? Do I need to change things up? What do I need to change up? Because at the end of the day, we all can plan accordingly how it is we think things are going to go. But until we're really in it, we're not going to really know how it's going to move forward. So recognizing that could be something that could be really, really important when it comes to the success that we want, and allow ourselves to be able to move forward, to take those actions that we really need to be able to get to the places that we need to get to and to get those goals done that we know we can be accomplishing. And if you're somebody who maybe have a hard time picking a specific goal or maybe making a decision, make sure to take a look at this next video where we break down what it is you can start to do in order to make quicker decisions.